Hello, welcome. It's the first time I've ever done anything like this on my channel. It's normally entrances if I'm sitting up in the gods or close to the ring. A few sort of blurry videos from live events, but I thought we'd talk about the Royal Rumble. It's Royal Rumble weekend, NXT Takeover Phoenix, of course. The blue touch paper has been lit on the road to WrestleMania. Exciting times for a wrestling fan. 2018 was absolutely fantastic, knocked it out of the park completely as far as the indies were red hot. We had the launch of NXT UK, and the women just continued to blaze trails and smash glass ceilings and really sort of do the industry proud on a whole. Spectacular. Long may it continue as we go forward. And I think a lot of good quality wrestling, if I'm honest, in 2018. It was very, very entertaining indeed. But it begins this weekend. This is it. This is the road to WrestleMania. This is where it starts to get exciting for a wrestling fan. And of course, it all kicks off with NXT Takeover on Saturday from Phoenix, and obviously the Rumble at Chase Field, also in Phoenix. But if you are going to the access sessions, Royal Rumble are doing an access session, just like you would do at WrestleMania weekend. Seems to be a very big thing at the minute, can obviously pull in a lot of interest. It is still one of the big original pay-per-views, Rumble, so why not drum up some interest? That's what I say. But if you have got tickets to the access, the first session on the Saturday morning, there's this tournament, the Worlds Collide tournament, which was announced very, very recently. And this will involve a selection of stars from 205 Live, NXT UK, and NXT based in Full Sail. So a good representation, 15 stars, and on the Saturday morning session will be a 15-man over-the-top rope battle royal. The winner of that receives a bye beyond the first round, and the order of eliminations of that tournament will determine how the tournament's structured then over the weekend for Access. It will then continue with later sessions and then culminate that weekend. So very interested on what the winner will get from that, whether that will culminate in events that happen. Could it be at the Rumble, or could it be the Raw and SmackDowns that follow that, and the 205s and the NXTs, NXT UKs that follow that in the weeks and months as we lead up to WrestleMania? Not long to go now, of course, but certainly be interesting to see that journey towards New York and New Jersey for what already looks like it's going to be an exciting weekend. So that's having an access. So if you're there, upload any pictures, videos, do whatever. It'd be interesting to see. But I said it's the first sort of time I've done something like this myself. Just thought to get the thoughts out there, in the interweb, and if you've got any thoughts about it, comments or anything like that, it'd be great to hear what you think. So anyway, Takeover Phoenix first up tomorrow on the network. Big card for this. Really looking forward to a Takeover. They normally deliver and then some. It's incredible viewing. Very exciting. I'm quite glad they probably only do happen every couple of months or so, because it just builds up the anticipation for them. And I can't think the last time I did not enjoy Takeover. They're always great fun. Always blow the roof off the place. So that should be a really good one as well. You can feel that build already for it. So yeah, great card for that, and it's as follows. Got Matt Riddle take on Cassius Ohno, the Undisputed Era, putting the tag team gold on the line against the War Raiders. Ricochet putting the North American Championship on the line against Johnny Gargano. Shayna Baszler is defending the women's NXT title against Bianca Belair, and Tommaso Ciampa puts the title on the line against Aleister Black. So it's going to be very, very interesting indeed to see how those pan out. Always a little bit tough to predict these, but I've gone ahead what I thought might happen, what I perhaps would like to see. I don't know, maybe let us know what you think as well. I think the first match that I mentioned, Matt Riddle and Cassius Ohno, was a great introduction for Matt Riddle. If you haven't seen him, there's loads of videos out there on him, about him on the indies, well worth a look. Very, very popular indeed. It was a good introduction with him for someone like Cassius Ohno. The veteran as he now is. But I think this will close the book on this sort of rivalry that they've introduced. And so I think Matt Riddle will win this, and that will put an end to that rivalry, and it'll open more doors for him. So it'll be interesting to see what's up next to him. So I think Matt Riddle to beat Cassius Ohno on this one. Undisputed Era and War Raiders. They're the type of team and faction. They look good with gold on them. I can't see them losing it just yet, if I'm honest. I think they will retain, only just. I just got a feeling they're going to take their gold into Mania weekend. That's how I just got a feeling that's how it's going to be. So I think the Undisputed Era are going to retain in this one. And the North American Championship, and what a lovely championship it is. It's Ricochet, Johnny Gargano. This, again, potential here for a show stealer. I think Gargano might just take this. I think he will have quite a good run with this title. If he's pushing towards this sort of unhinged heel run, I think he could make it work. I think he could really make it work. And I think these two are going to have a fantastic match. As much as I like Ricochet and the belt suits him, I think it's Gargano's time now for a singles title. So I think he'll take that. As far as Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair, I really don't know on this one. It's a bit of a head and heart thing, to be honest. My heart's saying Bianca Belair because I think she's brilliant and would love to see her with the gold. I think she deserves it. But I think somehow Shayna will retain. I think we'll see Jessamine Duke and Marina Shafir interfere in some way in this, which will somehow result in her keeping it, which I think won't result in a clean loss for Bianca. I think it might be one of these sort of things where it's a no contest or a count out or something like that. Again, I just see Shayna taking this belt into Mania weekend. I just see it. I think whether it's going to set up this whole Four Horsemen thing, I'm not sure. But yeah, my honest opinion on this, Shayna Baszler is going to retain, but only just. However, I would love to see Bianca Belair win it, but Shayna to retain. And then Tommaso Ciampa and Aleister Black. Again, if this is the way I'm going to go with this prediction, then there'll be no titles that change hands. It's not the first time it's happened on a takeover, but I don't know. Again, I just think Ciampa is a fantastic villain, a fantastic heel. I can just see him keeping this belt again for a long, long time. I don't know. I think I'm going to go for him to retain. I'm going to go for him to retain on this one. It's going to be close, but I think it could set up something in the coming weeks as we lead up to WrestleMania weekend. So that's what I've gone for the takeovers. So, just the one title change. Excuse me. Yeah, Gargano. I think Gargano will beat Ricochet, so that is a title change. So Undisputed Era to retain, Shayna to retain, and Tommaso Ciampa to retain over Black. I think that's the way that's going to go. Either way, I think we're going to be in for a treat. It's going to be really, really interesting to see that. We always love a takeover, and I think the crowd will hype it perfectly into Royal Rumble weekend, which brings us to the next event, the Royal Rumble at Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. Always nice to see WWE put things in a different environment or a stadium. It's a baseball stadium, home of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And for what I've seen from seating formations for this, it's going to look slightly different. It's got like a angled ramp entranceway. For those of you with a good memory, it sounds very similar to WrestleMania 19 at Safeco Field, obviously home of the Seattle Mariners, also a baseball stadium. So that'll be interesting to see how they're going to work that as far as a Tron or a stage will go. I know apart from WrestleMania, WWE just seem to stick to a one sort of uniform, bespoke entranceway and Tron. I think they might have to change it for a little bit of this just for the logistics of the stadium, but interesting nonetheless. But that's a whole separate subject. I'm a stadium and arena nerd, so I'm quite interested to see how that goes, and she'll be looking forward to the first photos that are put up of the stage build or when the fans get in the stadium. But anyway, the Royal Rumble, it's a stacked card on the Royal Rumble on this one. Rusev defending the United States title against Shinsuke Nakamura. The Bar, Sheamus and Cesaro defending the SmackDown Tag Team titles against Miz and Shane McMahon. Ronda Rousey puts the WWE Raw Women's Championship on the line against Sasha Banks. The SmackDown title on the line, Women's title, Asuka taking on Becky Lynch. And Daniel Bryan puts the WWE Championship on the line against AJ Styles. And the Cruiserweight title also on the line, Buddy Murphy, Akira Tozawa and Hideo Itami on that one. That's going to be a pre-show match, which I think, as well as Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura, is also going to be on the pre-show. So 2 matches on the pre-show. It's more than likely the pre-show will be about 2 and a bit hours, I would imagine, as a build-up for this. And the event itself, 4 hours or so for the Rumble. So it really is quite a epic event in terms of its length and how it's packed out with so much action, so much stuff. They've got to squeeze it all in. So it will be interesting to see how that goes. Then, of course, the Women's Royal Rumble and the Men's Royal Rumble. So a huge success last year. I think I enjoyed the Women's Royal Rumble more than the Men's last year, even though it was good fun. Full of nostalgia, the Women's, and the torch handed over perfectly to this current crop that we've got with the legends that took part. So very, very interesting. It was last year, and I'm sure it is going to be this year as well. So the predictions, so Rusev and Shinsuke Nakamura, I think Rusev's going to retain on this one. I think the comments, again, that I'm reading and chatting amongst friends on various sort of wrestling threads and on Twitter and the likes, I think Shinsuke just hasn't really been well used on the main roster. I think we know that. Maybe, I don't know, is it the sort of thing where now NXT is like a separate, although it's developmental, it is kind of its own entity now. I don't think it'd be the worst thing in the world for Shinsuke to pop back to NXT and have a good run there. It's that kind of indie vibe suits him more, I think. As much as I love the guy, it hasn't really, I don't think he's been booked in the right way on the main roster. It's good to see him have a title. I think the heel run suits him. Also, it was good to see him have the title. Obviously, he doesn't have it anymore. The heel run does suit him. But, yeah, something needs to change on that. I don't know. But Rusev, I think, to retain on this one, if I'm honest. At the bar against Miz and Shane, I think Miz and Shane are going to win this. I think they're going to win the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. Be a bit of, there's kind of this sort of dysfunctional side of it, which you kind of want to sort of see how it's all going to work out with those two. It shouldn't work, but it kind of does. And obviously Shane knows the business inside out. Miz, one of the best on the mic and in the ring these days. Definitely a future Hall of Famer. So I think this could be very, very exciting indeed. So I think they're going to win the SmackDown Tag Team titles in this one. Ronda and Sasha, take my money. Massive Sasha fan, and I can appreciate Ronda. You know, she's been great since she's come through. She's embraced it. Almost a year since we've seen her arrive. But how this one's going to go, it's a bit of a head and heart thing for this one. I mean, there's rumours that she's leaving after WrestleMania, which would indicate if she does keep a title, even if she loses it this weekend, she's going to drop it at Royal Rumble weekend, or Royal Rumble or at WrestleMania weekend. I don't know in this one. I would love to see Sasha win this and defend the title for a long time. I don't think she's been treated too fairly in that aspect, although Ronda does suit it. So yeah, I'm not sure how it's going to go, but I think Ronda's still going to be champion after this. I think she's going to retain, but hopefully Sasha will get a chance at some point this year. Trying to get your head around how this whole 4 horsewomen thing's going to work. We might see some foundations of that come together this weekend, leading up to WrestleMania. I don't know, but in the meantime, yeah, Ronda's just going to retain, I think. Asuka and Becky, I don't know. I mean, we've all got our ideas of this. The big thing is that we want to see a Becky and Ronda match at WrestleMania, which I do think will happen. How that comes about, I don't know. Yeah, there's got to be people who've got theories that she loses this match to Asuka and then steals a spot in the Royal Rumble, like she could steal Carmella's spot in the Royal Rumble, that 30 spot. That's how she wins the Rumble, gets a championship match of her choice. Could be something along those lines. I don't know. But I think Asuka's going to retain. Again, I don't think she'll pin Becky clean, but I think Asuka will retain in this one in some way. So yeah, it's going to be interesting, but Asuka to retain. Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles. I can see it's going to be a good match. It will be a very good match indeed, I think. I mean, Daniel Bryan is untouchable in the ring. AJ has just been prolific since he's joined. But I do think in this one, I think Daniel Bryan will retain, and I think he'll take this title to WrestleMania. I think he'll keep hold of it, definitely. Either way, I think it's going to be a great match between the two. But Daniel Bryan to retain for me on this one. Where that leaves AJ Styles, I don't know if we're going to. I know WWE are very keen to keep him in the title picture going forward. He is very popular, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see what happens after this match. But we should get a good indication on what their thoughts are, what their feelings are after this match. Buddy Murphy, Akira Tozawa, and Hideo Itami for the Cruiserweight title, which I believe is on the pre-show again. But, you know, it's still, in any case, it's going to be very, very entertaining. I'm going to go out on this one and say Hideo Itami is going to take this. I think he's going to take the Cruiserweight Championship in this one. It never really happened for him. He's come back on NXT, played with injury. But I think the 205 Live roster is extremely fun to watch. And I think he'll bring some provenance to that belt and to the brand. So I think Hideo Itami to win this one. But I think we're going to be in for a treat on this one, definitely. I think it's going to be good fun to watch, and it'll be a good way to warm the crowd up, I think, during the pre-show. The elephant in the room, Brock Lesnar. Finn Balor. It's tough, this one. WWE could completely troll the crowd on this one and keep him taking that title all the way to WrestleMania. A good friend of mine that I go to live events with and watch the events with, he joked at WrestleMania last year and said that he's taking this title all the way to Mania next year. I know he's kind of dropped it and then picked it up again, but I certainly wouldn't rule him out winning this. But I'm going to take the plunge on this one and throw a bit of a curveball, because there's rumours that Lesnar's done again, and that'll be him for a while. We won't see him for a while after this. So I think Finn Balor's going to win this. I think, and then it's eventually going to lead up to him and Seth carry on. Him and Seth at WrestleMania, maybe, which probably might have given away my Royal Rumble prediction, but that might change in the next couple of minutes. Anyway, who knows? But yeah, Finn will give it his all. Should be a great match. It doesn't deserve to be a squash match unless they've got something big for Finn Balor planned here. Brock Lesnar cannot squash Finn Balor in this match. It just can't happen. I know they probably wrapped him in cotton wool a bit after Finn's shoulder surgery, which we're looking at nearly 3 years ago now. But he has kind of just sort of been on the level since he's returned. He's needed this push. He's very popular. It would make sense. So Finn Balor, for me, to beat Brock Lesnar for the Universal Championship, which would be great. So, Women's Royal Rumble. Interesting, 21 slots filled. They were announced over the week, caused a bit of controversy because people were saying backwards and forwards on Twitter that, this ruins the surprise. It does a little bit. I'm not sure if I was completely on board with the whole announcing who's going to be in it. But it hasn't announced their numbers. The only one we do know is Carmella and R-Truth, of course, respectively, men's and women's. They won the mixed match challenge, so they both get the number 30 slot on their respective rumbles. So yeah, there has been no slots unveiled for the 21 women that they've named so far, just who they are. So there is at least that. So it's 9 more spots to fill. So I think we're going to see some NXT stars in this, some NXT UK, and I think we might get the odd legend thrown in as well. I think just because it has to be done. So a couple of my predictions. Maybe, I know I've gone for Shayna to retain, but I think if Shayna loses at Phoenix, I think she'll be one of the Royal Rumble entrants. I think definitely Shayna Baszler could be in there. Rhea Ripley and Toni Storm, maybe. They could be there or thereabouts. He's certainly very popular. Rhea Ripley's been fantastic. Had a great run as champion before she dropped it to Toni at Takeover Blackpool 2 weeks ago. So those are some potentials there. And then of course traditional. I think we'll see. I'm hoping we'll see the likes of Trish, Lita, maybe someone like Victoria. I was hoping was going to be in it last year, and also in Evolution. Didn't hear much from her. She contributed a great deal to the women's division. Was very enjoyable to watch. So it'd be good to see somebody like Victoria. And we might see a few other legends that we haven't seen, or we might see your usuals. We might see your Ivories, your Jacquelines, Molly Hollies, which will be great to see anyway. Even though she's on the kickoff panel, it'd be great to see Beth Phoenix in there. So I'm just calling her as a potential there. Would be great to see. But as far as the Rumble goes, this is a tough one. It's between two for me. I do personally think Becky Lynch somehow is going to be in the WrestleMania title match. She'll be in a title match at WrestleMania. How she's going to get there, I'm not sure. The obvious choice is for her to win the Royal Rumble, but I think Charlotte will win the Royal Rumble. I think that's my prediction on that one. Charlotte will win the Royal Rumble. It's going to set something up. So she might win it, but she might not necessarily get in the main event to WrestleMania. Something might happen in the lead up to that. But I think for now, I think Charlotte will win the Women's Royal Rumble. As much as I'd love to see Becky win it, I think they're going to make her work for it, and we're going to see a swerve on that one anyway, or something that leads up to that. So Charlotte to win the Women's Royal Rumble. Men's Royal Rumble, exciting stuff, of course. We know who's number 30, that's R-Truth. Actually, going back to that little thought prediction that I had, there's a lot of confusion with R-Truth in the Mixed Match Challenge. Of course, he was confused about who they were facing, his travel destinations, if they won the prize, what he was going to do with the money, etc. So I wouldn't rule out that when we think it's Carmella coming down for her number 30 slot, it will actually be R-Truth. So he costs her slot which could then open it up for Becky to take. Maybe that's another theory, possibly that's how that could work. Which I know he would then eventually get it right for the men's one, but it depends which way they do it round, of course. So I think he could be between him and Carmella could have a big pivotal say in where the women's title movement is going towards WrestleMania, shall we say? So just a thought there. But the men's Rumble, going to be entertaining. Mentioned it earlier. I think Seth Rollins will win the men's Royal Rumble, which will set up him and Finn Balor at WrestleMania, which I think will be great. You know, they pretty much kicked it off last year with a fantastic Intercontinental title match between the two of them. So why not, you know, be on the main stage and have it all to play for, shall we say? But yeah, Seth is the obvious choice. It's probably involve him and Dean Ambrose towards the end, but it's going to be interesting in any case as we push on to the show of shows. But we'll start, of course, with the Royal Rumble this weekend. Many fond memories of the Royal Rumble. My first one I ever watched was 1991, videotaped off of Sky Television in the UK, and it's just kind of went from there. Always an interesting one. One of the original Big Four, and you always knew that, you know, winter was kind of on its way out. We're pushing towards spring. We're pushing towards WrestleMania. Of course, standing between the Rumble and WrestleMania, we have Elimination Chamber in February and Fastlane in March. So lots of things going on there. Of course, the newly unveiled women's tag team titles will be decided at the Elimination Chamber. Very excited about that. Maybe we'll do a little discussion about that as we push nearer the time for that one, but we won't talk about that just now. We've got the Royal Rumble. Enjoy NXT Takeover Phoenix. Enjoy the Royal Rumble. Any comments, please leave them. Maybe we'll return again soon for something like this, but it's nice to talk about it, get it out of here, and there's only so many people that want to listen to it and understand it. So yeah, thanks again. Enjoy. It's going to be a great year 2019 for wrestling around the world, but the road to WrestleMania starts this weekend. Royal Rumble, Takeover Phoenix. Enjoy.